we're back. I think I'm a couple seconds late here. Let's... Boom, there we go. No worries, the hat will be back on in just a second.
Are we live?
Who are you?
We are live.
Imposter.
Hey, Arthur.
Yes.
Oh,
Are you
so
going to
okay.
plug water?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
They're not sponsoring.
Advertising for water tonight. Shocking, I know. Let me think of some bullshit thing that can advertise for us tonight. Oh no, I lost it. Here we go.
That water is sponsoring me.
Yes, tonight Chiron is being sponsored by water. Water.
It's what makes me.
Oh, so where did we leave off? You had just taken a map off of the dead kobolds.
Indeed.
And you were heading into the town of Narsh.
In that direction, at least.
Okay, so we've got one of these less epic Lord of the Ring montages where it's like a camera panning around, showing rolling featureless hills. Not like epic New Zealand landscape, but like featureless hills. And you guys arrive at the outside of Narsh, which has about 200 ogres, about 200 humans, approximately 800 kobolds, and I'm missing something there, 200 dwarves. The town is overflowing with outsiders. Like, it's an armed camp here that is way bigger than the town, easily. I mean, the town's only got, like, what, 30, 40 people in it? So, yes. And they definitely see you guys coming. And then a patrol of dwarves riding goats rides out to meet you.
I'll say to the party as they're riding out, I think I can get us a meeting with their leader, whoever that may be.
Okay, anyone but Sora.
Wow, anyone but Sora, yeah.
Go right ahead. I've had my fill of non-elven.
The dregs of the world.
Oh my god, the reveal here is going to be incredible. Okay. So, Geth, you're going to be in front when the dwarves approach?
Yep.
Alright, they both got
Non-threatening
lances
as I
out.
can.
And they stop and they're in common. They're like, "Oh there, why are you traveling with elves here? You're likely to get slaughtered like that. State your business at once."
I bring a message for whomever it is that leads you.
He says, "Ah, yeah, you'll be wanting to see the High Lord."
Indeed.
Alright. What's the message?
The exact contents I can only divulge to him, however, it does fit well with what you seem to have going on here. It concerns the fall of Hup.
So they look at each other and they're like... They look back at you and the second one's like, "No dice, mate. We're not just going to let you walk into a friggin' armed camp just on your word. We need evidence."
800 versus 4? You're not secure in that?
He snorts and he's like, "You got a bunch of elves with you and they look like prissy little spellcasters."
Take them here and take me and my other human friend here by ourselves.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take the elves and we'll clap them in irons and take their spell components away. How's that sound?
I'll look back at you two, Sora.
You come near me, midget, and we'll have problems.
And the first dwarf looks at the second one and is like, "Oh, look, an impolite elf. It's an oxymoron. Emphasis on the moron."
I thought dwarves were Canadian.
That's only Pathfinder. Remember, in Pathfinder, elves also are not badass super empires, so...
Right. Well,
I just roll my eyes and go back to reading my journal.
Okay,
About
can you guys make a
about how
perception
I
check
almost
really
got
quick?
killed by opening my mouth.
Yeah. Can you guys make perception checks?
all of us.
Yep. Well, Geth, you're screwed.
Yep.
What was the perception again?
Wisdom. I think you're a +3. The NPC. I'm sorry, the pre-gen wizard is a +3. Yep.
Okay, so roll what +3?
D20.
1d20 +3.
D20 +3. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so, do we get, there we go. Okay, so Geth, you're completely oblivious. Chiron, Seri, and Sora, all three of you notice that there's, like, a flight of a dozen winged kobolds, like, settling in over you guys, cutting off your escape. And the dwarf looks at Geth, and he's like, well, I think it's gonna be right proper for you guys to come with us. And he starts tossing down, like, handcuffs at you. He's like, you're gonna want to wear these.
So be it.
And they start handing out handcuffs for all of you.
Guess I'll start handcuffing my party.
Does anyone object to this treatment?
I do.
Okay.
But do
Can
you
I speak
stop
to
it?
Sara?
Let's play
Can
it
I
out.
speak to Sara? I'll try
Talk
to
to me.
speak
Go
with
ahead.
Sara.
Talk to me.
Yeah, but in Elvish, so only we would know.
Soda, please, not now. We need to be captured to talk with the leader.
What is it with you and being captured? You really want to be captured?
It's like I don't have any choice right now.
Okay. All right. All right. Sora, are you moved by this? We need to be captured speech?
I just give him a blank stare and a couple of blinks, and I'm like, if that's what gets us inside, fine. Just this once. I'll oblige.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're all ushered into this war camp. There's a bunch of kobolds that see two elves being dragged into camp with handcuffs on, and they get like sticks and start poking you guys, and they're like, ah, look at the stupid elves! We will enjoy hanging them. And the dwarves are like, get out of the way, you lot. We've got business with these ones. They want to see the High Lord. And everyone's like, oh, the High Lord! Ha ha ha! And all of a sudden, like, out of nowhere, a path through the kobolds appears. All of them, like, immediately move out of the way. And you can see in the center of Narsh, where there was that underground shelter, there's now, like, a Unity command center. And there's a familiar figure standing in the middle of it. It is, in fact, Lord Riller, the owner of the Twice and Again.
What?
Dun dun dun.
So he sees Chiron and Geth, and he's like, pathetic peons. It's about time you got here. And he turns to one of his body men. He's like, please set out breakfast for Chiron so that we can turn it over onto the table and mash it up for him. And the body servant is like, again. He's like, yes, again. He needs to learn to show more respect to his superiors. And so,
Is Lord
there's
Riller
like
a human?
there's a contingent of dwarves here, and there's like one or two humans, and there's this gold kobold. He's got wings, and he's got like a headdress and like a gigantic hookah sticking out of his mouth. And that's who's in the command tent, including Lord Riller, who everyone is addressing as High Lord.
Geth will kind of sarcastically and questioningly, High Lord Riller?
He's like, yes, of course. You didn't think it was strange that so many Unity members ended up in the same tavern?
Perhaps. So, what you got going on here, Lord?
Well, it turns out I'm the head of Unity, obviously. Duh.
But you're an elf.
Yes, I am an elf.
Traitor.
So,
He rolls his eyes. He's like, think of it this way. I'm freeing the East from the Empire. Hub doesn't need the Empire anymore. And once I'm governor of the city, we'll be sure to close the pass off with the rest of the Elven Empire, and then we can all live in peace over here.
So, the Unity going to attack the hub.
He's like, we are going to attack Hub, but perhaps not in the way you think. As a matter of fact, the attack has already begun.
Is
Actually,
there
I wish
an
I'd planned
open
that line
seat?
better so I could do some Ozymandias Watchman shit. The attack is already over. So he's like, you are looking for a military campaign. That is foolish. We are putting economic and political, cultural sanctions on the city. We're going to bleed them dry until their garrisons are forced to come out and deal with us, and then we'll simply occupy the city.
Why
Smart.
drive people from their homes?
Easy. They're all being paid.
Huh.
Their villages may be empty for now, but soon they will all have nice, clean, warm homes in Hub.
So, what's going to stop Hub from not liking all of these peasantry, he'll saying air quotes, at their gate?
So he kind of exchanges glances with the two other human members, both of whom are female, in the command staff. And one of them steps forward, and it's actually the mayor of Narsh. And she's like, well, I believe that the elves will not open fire on a civilian population without provocation. However, the civilians out there are doing a great job of bogging down the Eastern Watch Guards, while we prepare to enter the city in a different manner.
Oh, I like this.
Of course, now that you're here, we can't let you leave.
Why not?
Because we're not sure where your loyalties lie.
Pour me a brew
Hey,
and let me roast marshmallows.
so, Lord
still
Riller's
eat-
like, I would like you to be at the front end of our attack on Hub. Our physical, military attack. That way you can prove your loyalty. And he's looking at both Sora and Sari. He's like, yes, prove your loyalty. Will you two elf brothers pledge your allegiance to me, Lord Riller of House Riller?
I don't know if I need to prove anything since I never said I was against you or with you.
And he says, it may be cliche, but of course, if you're not with us, you are against us.
So look to Sara and try to percept how he's gonna react.
Well, I'm going to take you over, to the side for a moment and have a little conversation with you. Let's just go along with this for now. We'll be able to get out of these cuffs, and we'll be able to get back to the city and warn them. Okay?
But keep quiet. No problems, okay?
Okay. Interesting conversation.
For now. Fine.
Lord Riller, perhaps we could have a word in private.
He says, what purpose is there to having a word in private? What you have to say, you can say in front of my men.
But not in front of mine.
He says, oh, interesting. Guards, remove those three. And they begin dragging Kyron and Sora and Siri out of the room. He's like, you have 2 minutes to impress me before I need to get back to preparations.
They don't need to drag Chiron. He will happily leave.
They drag you anyway.
Okay.
They're under orders.
What would you say if I could ensure that you would never die? Ever.
He says, well, that I would pursue in the future. I'm a little busy trying to take over a country
The point
and
is
ensure
that...
the freedom of multiple races and the
point-
entire eastern continent
Yes,
and all of life.
that is my
Let me
goal as
stop
well.
you right there. I don't have time for this, to be honest. Unless
All
you
right.
can provide an immediate result.
Well, it takes going to a place and performing a ritual. It's easy as that.
Because we have no time. The attack launches tonight.
Alrighty then. That kind of takes the wind out of Geth's sails. He's like, that is all.
He returns you to your comrades, and he says, you have 2 hours to prepare. We'll be making a forced night march 20 miles northwest to the coastline.
Are we still shackled?
You only have handcuffs on, and he'll be
Right.
leaving them on.
Well, Geth will sit.
Just gonna sit?
Yep.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
I would
Waiting
speak with
brought back
Chiron.
to the
I would speak with Chiron privately, trying to say,
Do you trust him?
Do I trust whom?
the leader of the unit.
Lord Riddler?
Yes.
If he is the leader of Unity, of course I trust him. He has brought together a contingent of all the races of the world to overthrow the filthy Elven Empire.
You're saying that to an elf.
Yeah,
You know I'm a wolf, right?
of course I do.
You
You've
think
oppressed
I'm
my
filthy?
people. I feel that your race that oppresses all the other races is unjust.
We're
So
not
much-
oppressing you. We're offering guidance.
Oh, yes. Classic dialogue.
Yes, guidance. Guidance that forced me to make a deal with a vampire in order for my freedom from your kind. That's
No one
guidance.
forced you to make a deal with a vampire. You did that of your own choice. It has
So-
nothing to do with the Elven Empire.
I did that to save my people.
A bunch of dwarves nearby come over and like pat Chiron on the back, and they're like, "Yeah, still what you're talking about there, elf. We all had to make deals with Milo Milumatafa as well. Haven't you heard of the Great Reckoning? Every firstborn child of every dwarven clan pledged themselves to become a warlock. That's why the drow hunted us all down and killed half the population. Bastards." He spits at your feet.
Wow.
Warlocks rule and elves drool. And then they're like, "You
gonna
there,
do-
human. You want to come get a drink with us warlock folk?"
Absolutely. And then I'm going to do the super secret warlock high five with them.
There, no such thing exists. But they are willing to talk to you about warlock stuff, like the number of people you sacrificed to your blood god. And how good blood tastes, and how much fun they're going to have drinking the blood from a bunch of elves.
I will go wander off with them and discuss blood magic with them.
And they said the elf blood drinking in front of me, right?
Yep.
Blatantly.
Yep.
Okay. Just keep that on the back burner for a little while.
Yeah.
Let that marinate.
Let that marinate.
Sari, how do you feel about all this talk?
It's all bullshit to Sarah because he really don't want to take a stand. He thinks he's stupidity, though. All those races against elves, dwarves, warlocks, anything. But you see Chiron leaving. He's just keep quiet right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to him and be like, you know what? They're gonna get there soon. Just wait and see.
All right. Geth, you're still sitting?
He's been told to prepare, yet he remains restrained.
We're actually going to have to wrap up early here tonight, unfortunately, because I don't have much else prepared. So this is kind of what happens. You guys are loaded onto what appears to be a perfect replica of the barges that travel between Kitajaj and Hub. And there are dozens of these barges. All of them appear perfectly legitimate. And they set them sailing towards the city, where they are guided in by smugglers from the Thief King. And, you know, thousands of Unity members offload into the ports and begin taking the city from the inside.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's where we're going to pick up next time. I didn't expect you guys to get here so quickly, to be honest. I was like, yeah, they're probably going to get in a bunch of small adventures, then fight some stuff, get stuck, walk in a circle, and eventually they might make it to Narsh, or they might go serve the Thief King, one of the two.
I'm just trying not to get killed.
Yeah.
So as usual, we did everything but what you planned for us today.
Yeah, of course. So basically a normal episode of Hub.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is part of the reason why I'm reworking the campaign for the future, because I am terrible at anticipating player actions and having stuff ready.
Did you prepare any riot in the camp?
No. I mean, that just
Okay.
happened naturally, because you guys are like stopping and talking to people and are like, elf, elf, elf. You smell like piss, human, and you're full of disease. That's what we call dynamically generated content.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was.
So
Can I just throw something out there real quick?
yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask, what are you guys' thoughts on tonight's session, and where do your characters stand getting off of the boats? As people, like your handcuffs are removed right before the boats land, so you're free to.
Did
do whatever you'd
Lord
like.
Rill give us any specific instructions as to what, well, at least to Gath and myself, what our
No,
particular...
the four of you were supposed to be the first off of your boat, so that if any of you guys shouted warning, and the guards came, that you guys would be the ones that get mowed down by crossbow fire.
Yeah, that's kind of Geth's whole apprehension. The very first few ranks generally die.
That's why they want to put you out right in front, just in case you
Yeah.
run out of trouble. So
So
Sora, you had
we're
a
gonna-
question.
Yeah. I was thinking. Well, I mean, it's your game, so ultimately you decide what goes on. But I was thinking maybe like, and he sends us on like a secret mission to like get something special to prove our worth and our loyalty before we can actually join like the main force or something like that. I don't know, just an idea.
You're saying like reverse this to give us more time to do something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that idea. Of course, if some of you die, that's even better.
Yeah. That's which.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll do this. Sora, you roll a D100, and then everybody
Okay.
else roll 2D6. And I will develop an adventure using the magic of encounter charts.
Oh my god.
You will
Kill the
choose your own fate.
1D100.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
A 90.
All right. So this is what happens. We reverse time. You guys are still in the camp. They take your handcuffs off. The dwarves need you guys to run some tasks through the camp. They're pretty sure you guys aren't going to attempt to escape because the elves are the only elves in the whole camp besides the High Lord. And so if you try anything funny, they're just going to kill your whole party.
Oh, the whole party?
Yes, all of you.
Hold yourself, Soda.
And they make it real obvious that they're going to kill all of you if you don't do what they ask. And you
We
try
all
any
must
funny
pay for the
business.
sins of one.
Aye. It's the dwarven way. It's the elven way, too, like when you killed all of the firstborns.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I wasn't born then.
Well, it was
I
over
have-
20 years ago, so you must be a really young elf then.
I have no blood in my hands.
I thought you said you killed hundreds of kobolds earlier.
But weren't the dwarves saying that? Or are kobolds saying that?
The dwarves are the ones asking you to do these tasks. But you
No, okay.
were the one that told the watch commander that you killed hundreds of kobolds, right?
Yeah.
I was assuming that was true. Are you now saying that it's not true?
No, because I'm misunderstood. So kobolds are dwarves. I think I thought were different. So are the same.
So are you trying to deceive these guys? Or were you trying to deceive the watch commander?
And deceive those guys.
Which one are those guys? The dwarves
The
right
one-
now?
Yes.
Okay.
Dwarf.
Make a deception check then.
Is that 20?
Yep. Let's see here. You have a -1. Oh, well, you knocked it out the park. So, you're like, yep, didn't kill anybody, no blood on my hands. And then we get like this flashback of you like hunting down and using like burning hands on all these young dwarves. You see like all these dwarves in like warlock outfits, and they're all like around a campfire preparing for something, and you like appear out of the sky and you set all of them on fire. And then we switch back to the scene and you're like, yep, never killed anybody.
That's right.
I have to ask something. Is anyone suspicious at all of where my loyalties are, considering my behavior and how I present myself?
I think everybody's pretty sure that you're an Elven Empire loyalist, right?
Okay.
You've kind of made it pretty obvious. Even if we
Indeed.
didn't know ahead of time, you're like, ugh, these humans stink and smell. For the Empire, let's talk to the gate commander.
Okay. Well, I guess we're on the same page then.
All right, so this is what the dwarves need you to do. The ogres are blocking the dwarves from entering the camp and removing the supply of dwarven beer that they have. So the ogres are trying to deal with it themselves, but they put 2 dwarves in the hospital area by like beating them nearly to death with tree stumps. And so they need someone to go down there and clear that up before they need to start slaughtering all the ogres, which would be very bad for morale.
Yeah, well,
And
that's...
so the dwarf that's like giving you this mission, he's like, "No, this is only the first task, and you know, we figure you guys are expendable. If they beat all of you to death, we know that we'll have to kill them. But if you come back, I mean, that's a bonus, right?" You guys are good at talking to people, right? Right?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Geth is looking at all 3 of you because he is not.
So he's like, "Now, here's where you need to go in the camp. Good luck. The ogre leader, his name is Thorjak."
So you want us to go rescue your precious beer?
Aye?
Typical.
You got something to say there, elf?
You know, never mind. I bit my tongue. No, I have nothing to say.
That's right, point-eared. Turns around and starts walking away.
As he is harassing the elf, I'm going to start heading for where Thorjak is.
Okay. Is everyone else following?
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
Just making sure. Friend computer needs to ensure the loyalty of the party. So you make it to the edge of the ogre encampment, and there's these humongous ogres. Some of them have like horns. Some of them just have like shaved heads. Others have it's a tonsure, so it's like that British monks had, where you just shave the top of your head and you've got like a ring of hair around it.
Mm-hmm.
So these ogres look pretty diverse, probably from different clans or something. And there are two who are standing by this. To humanize it would appear to be an enormous wooden palisade, but it only comes up to the ogre's chest. And they're carrying like logs. And they're like, "Hey, what are you doing coming to our camp? No elvesy-welvesies here."
Oh, pay them no mind. Pay them no mind. They're with me. And I, as you can see, don't have the pointy ears of the elf.
One of them looks to the other and says, "You're right. He doesn't have the pointy ears of the elf." And the other one says, "Yes, that's science." And then the first one says, "Wait, still no elves allowed. You can't bring them in here. In fact,
Yeah.
you're not allowed in here either, you stupid human.
I
Stinky."
am
And he
stupid.
pulls out one of those maps that you saw earlier and points to the stinky human icon.
I am a stupid, stinky human. That's very true. That being said, I need to speak with Thorjak.
So the two of them look at each other while you're talking, and you call yourself a stinky human. They're like, "Science, science, science." And you say you need to speak with Thorjak, and they both like, "Ha ha ha ha! Stupid human, speak to Thorjak. No, oh no. Only way humans speak to Thorjak is through duel. Ha 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 ha! Tiny man."
What if I could get you something better?
So they look at each other and they're like, "What do you mean better? Better than Thorjak?
No,
You
no,
have
no,
a better leader than Thorjak?"
no. A better dual opponent than myself.
They look at each other and say, "Yes, Rock would make better dual opponent
Well,
than
yes,
you."
look at
Ha
me.
ha ha ha.
I'm so scrawny and weak, and I mean, I would give you no challenge whatsoever. I'm
Yes.
just a stupid, stinky, scrawny human.
Geth is pointing eagerly at the elves.
They say, "What do you have in mind
Elf,
for duel?"
singular or plural?
Both.
You
Okay.
are participating
The
in
general
the
direction.
meeting this evening, no doubt. Yes.
Of course. We
So
will
this
drink
is-
dwarven beer and become strong like dwarf.
Can we spread that around?
Spread what around?
Great dwarven beer, so we can become strong like dwarves.
No. We need
What?
it to become strong.
But if you give me some of it, then perhaps I could be strong and thus give you a worthy opponent for your duel.
They look at each other and they're like, "Well, that does make sense."
Or
And then the other one like reaches behind his back and pulls out this huge beer stein that's like the size of your head, and he's like, "You can finish mine."
I'm gonna need more than that to become strong like you. I'm gonna
He
need.
says, "You drink this much dwarven ale and live. You be strongest human alive."
So I will do that if I can see. If in exchange for being strongest human alive, I can then see Thorjak.
He says, "Oh, okay. Yes, strongest human alive would be worthy of seeing Thorjak and getting Noctald."
Noctarl.
Yes, Noctal.
What is Noctal?
You not know Noctal?
I am a stupid, stinky, scrawny human.
He says,
Of course I don't.
"You don't understand giant? So stupid."
Yes, I'm very stupid.
Does anyone here understand giant?
Nope.
Negatory.
Okay, so the two of them look at each other and they like grab their crotches and they're like, "Noctal." Noctal.
I will pound the dwarven beer in an attempt to show my great strength.
Okay, make a Constitution save. Okay, make a Constitution save. And make a Constitution save. All right. So at first you're doing great. You're doing fantastic. You're like, oh yeah, this is great. This is good stuff. And then you're like, oh, my digestive tract. I think it's eating at my stomach lining. And then finally you're like, oh, nope, not going to throw up. And you throw it back up into his beer stein, and he is like, you are puny. Cannot handle dwarven beer. Aha. And like a dozen ogres nearby start storming over. The earth is like shaking at their approach, and everyone's like, ah, look at stupid puny human. What are the rest of you guys doing during all this?
I
Good
step
question.
forward, and I'm going to try it.
Okay. All right, make 3 fort saves. Sorry, con saving throws. Call them nowadays.